Welcome to Ghouls Night Out with your hostesses, Brandee and Jodi.
Hello, beautiful ghouls. Welcome. This is Brandee. I'm here with my sister, Jodi.
Hello.
So I have some secondhand embarrassing stories to begin with. First one, I was selling some kettlebells on Facebook Marketplace, and a woman, early 40s maybe, bought them. She came to pick them up, and as I handed them over to her, she obviously wasn't expecting them to be as heavy as they were. As she was suddenly strained to counter their weight, she ripped the most extreme of farts I have ever heard. It was gargantuan. I was shocked, but also proud. I'm usually pretty good at making light of any situation, but I found myself speechless for the first time in my life. If I could, I would have returned to serve, but even on my best day, I don't believe I could create such a symphony. We both kind of stared at each other's eyes, and she said, "Well," and turned around and walked off. I think about her often.
What would you do? I don't know what I would do. I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. I would probably do the exact same thing she did.
Like, okay then, later.
I'm going to go. That was your goodbye present. Next one, I once went to an Italian restaurant with someone who was learning Italian and knew quite a bit. None of the staff were Italian. It was essentially just a pizzeria in a small town. She insisted on ordering for the whole table in the language with correct pronunciation. The waitress was about 17 and didn't know what was happening while we all just sat there.
Why would you do that?
Seriously, she was proud, I guess. No. We have a parents' Facebook chat for the parents in our daughter's class. One of the dads texted, "I know that we both have families, but my heart wants you, and I keep seeing you in my sleep every night." Clearly, he texted the wrong chat. Uh-oh. I was watching TV at home, and we had a huge indoor sliding glass door. We had a repairman over. He was walking fast with his face hanging down. He looked up right as I was trying to warn him, and smashed face first into the glass. He quickly opened the door and ran out, leaving his face printed on the glass. Oh my God, I died for him.
That's almost seriously, that's almost as bad as when you embarrass yourself, is when you witness someone else.
Oh my God, I know.
It's
you
like,
feel it.
You do.
You do.
It's horrible.
It is. I was at a dinner party when my friend's mother-in-law asked another one of our friends when her baby was due. She wasn't pregnant. Anyway, mother-in-law should have simply apologized, but instead doubled down with something to the effect of, "Well, it sure looks like you're pregnant."
Oh my God. Just shut up.
Seriously. A girl was graduating from college, fell repeatedly on the stage. She fell at least 3 or 4 times, like something invisible kept sweeping her leg out from under her. Even she had a what the fuck expression on her face.
It was a ghost messing with her.
That is... what? Was it her shoes? After the second fall, I would have taken my shoes off. There was a guy in college who walked in a class late. The room had auditorium seating, and the only open spaces were in the 4th row in the middle, about 25 rows and about 50 seats per row. This guy walks in and sits down about 15 minutes into the lecture and opens his laptop, which, as soon as the lights boot up, starts blaring porn. He couldn't log in fast enough to mute it or turn it off, so he slammed it shut, put it in his bag, and walked out with it still blasting at full volume. We heard it finally stop as he was about to leave the building. Oh my God. So
I guess everyone knew what you were doing before you came.
Why were you late? We were at Denny's, and my dad was smacking the side of a ketchup bottle to get it to come out. He was so into his story that he hit the bottle too hard, and ketchup shot across the table onto the lady sitting to his left. She was wearing white.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. I walked in on an ex-boyfriend's mom having a swingers party. Everyone was naked. I stood still before processing what I saw, and then ran away.
Well, what else are you supposed to do?
I didn't even have to be alive to be embarrassed for my mom when she was dating in her 20s. On a date, she was with a guy she liked and ordered a salad because she didn't want anything getting stuck in her teeth. Mid-conversation, she bit into a cherry tomato and it exploded, squirted across the table, and blew out the candle in the middle of the table. I die every time I think about it.
That's not too bad.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny. But it's not like super embarrassing or anything.
I think the thing in your teeth would be more embarrassing.
Yeah.
I went to an open house and this older realtor was helping the listing agent. He was excitedly walking around his empty house and discussing features.
Disgusting.
While looking back at my husband and me. He ran headfirst into the chandelier that would have been positioned over the dining table, had one been there. It happened so quickly we couldn't even warn him. He got tangled in it and ripped it down as he fell face first onto the ground, cutting himself up badly in the process. We both still cringe when we think about it. We saw him out at the supermarket recently, and we both whispered, "Oh no." That's awful. When I was a teenager, my mom sold our old couch on Craigslist. A local college student bought it, and she brought her dad to help load it into a van. He asked if he could use the bathroom before loading it up, and my mom said sure. He was in there for a long time, about 15 minutes. Finally, he emerges holding the bath mat crumpled up by the edges like a dumpling. He just says he missed. Without being prompted, he clarified that the bath mat contained poop rather than pee. The look on his daughter's face was indescribable. They still had to get the couch out.
Oh my God. What? How do you miss that much?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, you'd have to squat over the fucking mat,
I know,
right?
That's what I mean. How do you fucking miss?
I mean, if it was that big of an emergency, you wouldn't even be able to get your pants off, right?
That's what I'm thinking.
That makes no sense, sir. Why did you shit on the bath mat? Oh my God. Okay, next one. I almost don't even want to write this. It makes me so uncomfortable. I was at a leadership course with about 150 NCOs in the military. I'm not sure. A high-ranking officer, I think a colonel, was giving us a big motivational speech in the auditorium, and his nose was dripping. But it was a solid string that he somehow wasn't noticing. I want to say maybe he had blown his nose or used a tissue at the beginning, but then as he was talking, this glistening snot string descended sparkling in the spotlight. Oh my God. I was in the 10th row and could see it clearly, and there was just no way to help him. No, so he could fix it. I've never seen anything like the holding power of this thing. It ended up being at least 10 inches just dangling. That's disgusting.
How could you not notice that?
He had to have known, right?
I don't know.
Oh my God. Next. I had a very awkward and nice professor who gave his lectures to our class of 200 plus students with a microphone around his neck. Oh no. One morning, right before class started, when almost everyone was there, he had to go to the bathroom. I'm sure you can see where this is going. Luckily, we only heard him go number one, but the microphone was so good, every sound down to the zipper echoed through the hall.
Oh my God.
We all just looked around at each other in shock and awkwardly laughed until he came back. No one said anything to him, and I hope no one ever did. I went to school for software development. It was a very difficult program with high failure rate. We were chatting the first day of the second semester, and a guy I knew from the program chatted with us. Now, in the first semester, he struggled. We all knew he struggled. I was kind of surprised to see him. We talked about grades, and he said, "Oh, wow, you guys saw your grades? How?" Yes, he'd gotten through the semester and never checked his grades. We pulled up the school website, he logged in, and we pointed to him at the grades section. He asked, "What do these W's mean?" I looked over and saw he got a W in 3 classes, a grade lower than an F. I'm like, that means you can't really be here right now. You should talk to the registrar's office. He was honestly more confused than anything. He wandered off and we never saw him again. Weird.
How do you go through that much schooling in your life and not think you need to check it?
You know, we've read so many of these stories. I can't understand. Next one. I was on a double date with a friend, and it was his first time taking this person out. Later, he told me he was holding in his farts the whole time. During a silent part of the movie, he sneezed and accidentally pushed out a massive fart that smelled awful. I had to fake a trip to the bathroom because I was crying. I was laughing so hard. A girl went up in front of hundreds of people to accept an award, but all she heard was the name Olivia and assumed it was her, but the actual winner was also named Olivia. When they realized they gave the award to the wrong Olivia because the actual winner came up, this girl screamed, burst into tears, and ran off the stage.
Oh.
And my last one. I was on the tube heading into work, and it was around 9 a.m., rush hour, so the carriage was full. The doors were closing, and some lady tried to run and get on. The doors closed, and she slammed into them. They opened again, but she hesitated, then tried to get on again as the doors closed again and got caught in them again.
Oh my God.
She tried fighting through them for a bit, then gave up and stepped back onto the platform while everyone on the carriage watched silently. I cringed so hard. Aw, that sucks.
She was having a bad day.
Those are mine for the beginning.
All right. This week I did 10 creepiest episodes of paranormal television.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So, number 10 is Terror in the Woods. Woods could be scary places. You can't always see the dangerous creatures hiding between the trees or thick undergrowth, and that is just the real life ones. Many people have had unsettling experiences hiking or camping in the woods, while others have purchased homes in remote woods only to find that there is something sinister lurking inside. Bill and Cherise Stark experienced their own horror story that was eventually aired on Destination America's Terror in the Woods. They couldn't believe their luck when a cabin owner sold them his property at the edge of a geological reserve in Red River Gorge, Kentucky. The cabin was to be their dream retirement retreat. The dream soon turned nightmarish when unexplained incidents started happening in and around the cabin. At one point, Bill installed a security camera outside which captured a green mist that seemed to fade in and out. The camera also caught what looked like a bright light coming up from the ground and floating off. Bill found a weird footprint in the snow outside the cabin, and the couple's TV and PlayStation would on occasion turn on by itself. When they inspected the game console, they found a slimy substance covering it. Later, in their Terror in the Woods episode, it was revealed that a woman suffering from a terminal illness had died in the cabin. It was also reported that strange things kept happening in the cabin after the episode aired.
Did Slimer visit them?
That sounds like it.
'Cause green slime, right?
Yeah. Oh, green mist.
Oh, a green mist and slime.
Yes.
So yeah, that's a Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
That's so nice. He came to visit.
Yeah. Number 9, Ghost Hunters. Ghost Hunters ran from 2004 to 2016 and was revived in 2019. During its original 11-season run, Jason Hawes and Grant Wilson investigated haunted locations in the U.S. as well as the U.K. They are the founders of TAPS and the Atlantic Paranormal Society and work alongside a team of ghost hunters. During the multitude of episodes, many strange things happened, including faces materializing in darkness, multiple EMF meters triggering at the same time, disembodied figures wandering around, and voices calling out from basements. During the Armory episode, the team was investigating the New Bedford Armory in Massachusetts when their sound man, Frank DeAngelis, inexplicably fell backwards. He couldn't get back on his feet and had to receive medical attention. Afterwards, DeAngelis claimed that he felt something pass through him. He also quit the crew the next day because he was too traumatized to carry on with the investigations. I remember that. Number 8. True Terror with Robert Englund. Who better to host a scary show than Freddy Krueger himself? True Terror with Robert Englund premiered in March 2020 as a continuation of True Terror with George Takei and has received great reviews. The show takes historical news stories of the paranormal kind and brings them to life using Englund's celebrity and general creepiness. One of the stories of the pilot episode included a man from North Carolina who dreamt of his own death and the countdown to it. There is also the tale of a New Orleans teenager unable to escape a waking nightmare and his eventual grisly fate. Sounds like something Freddy Krueger could be involved in, right? One of the creepiest episodes, however, is the one that relates the true story of the Axeman of New Orleans, who was one of America's most infamous serial killers. The Axeman initiated a dark chain of events in which he challenged the public and the police with an open letter. The media printed several responses from citizens in which they challenged the killer right back. Italian-American immigrant George Colombo intended to meet up with the Axeman, and what followed is the stuff of nightmares.
Interesting.
7. Paranormal Lockdown. Imagine spending 100 hours in an infamously haunted house with an unpredictable demonic entity. That is exactly what paranormal researchers Nick Groff and Katrina Weidman did for Paranormal Lockdown in 2016. The Black Monk House episode was slated as a 2-hour special that filled the gap between the show's first and second seasons. Black Monk House in Pontefract, England, has been visited by several paranormal investigators, some of whom have experienced objects levitating and people being attacked by an unseen entity. A girl was dragged upstairs in what could only be described as a scene from a modern horror movie, while some ghost hunters who have encountered the poltergeists that reside in the house refuse to stay at the property. The caretakers of the house also refuse to stay inside by themselves. Nick and Katrina spent 4 days trying to capture the poltergeist, the Black Monk, on camera. The result makes for one of the best, if not most terrifying episodes of the series.
Yeah, I need to go back to that one.
Yeah, I've got my calendar or my reminder set so I can watch it, because we talked about it before.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot about it.
Oh, yeah, watch season 1, episode 1 for sure.
Yeah.
That one's a scary one.
6. Unsolved Mysteries. Before Unsolved Mysteries 2020, there was an Unsolved Mysteries 1987 presented by Robert Stack, among others. As the name states, each episode revolved around mysterious incidents including murders, hauntings, disappearances, and accidents. Robert Stack's inimitably deep voice and the iconic intro music gave many a viewer a goosebump or two. Alongside this, some of the episodes were truly creepy and are still being discussed on internet forums such as Reddit years after airing. One of the most memorable and truly terrifying episodes aired during Season 7 and related the story of Pam and Eric Ellender. In 1991, Pam and Eric were found dead in their bed in Sulphur, Louisiana. Their infant daughter was unharmed and crying from her bedroom when police made the discovery. It was revealed afterwards that the killers threw a party in the couple's home soon after killing them and while their bodies were in the bedroom. While the murders were technically solved, there were many chilling details included in the episode that kept viewers at the edge of their seats. It is truly an episode that must be watched.
That is horrifying. Who would throw a party after they
Obviously,
murdered?
crazy, cuckoo, nutty people. But at least they didn't hurt the little girl.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, if you want to look at, you want to try to find a bright side. I mean, Number 5, The Dead Files. Cheerfully named The Dead Files, sees medium Amy Allen and former homicide detective Steve DeShavi investigate haunted locations at people's request. The core of each episode revolves around Steve and Amy doing independent investigations at a specific location and then revealing their findings to one another at the end of the show. Even though the show has attracted a lot of criticism over the years, it remains a firm fan favorite and has aired its 12th season earlier in 2020. One of the spookiest episodes, according to fans, details the story of Annie, who has lived in her home for more than 10 years and believes that the hooded figure she keeps seeing on her property has made her existing health problems worse. Annie also claimed to have seen the ghosts of long-dead Native Americans surrounding her house in Cedar Park, Texas. Annie's friend, Joel, claimed to have seen what looked like paper cutouts in the shape of people hanging in the trees around the house, jumping between the branches. That is creepy.
That is so creepy. And on that episode, she said that she saw the same thing.
Yeah.
The paper cutout people. So creepy.
And that's not something that you would like.
That's not even something you could make up.
Yeah, you wouldn't, I don't know. Just weird.
Even if I saw that, I would think I was going nuts.
Yeah. Me too.
So weird.
Number 4, celebrity ghost stories. Celebrities are not exempt from brushes with the paranormal. There have been so many stories of celebrities experiencing something unexplained that there is even a TV show or two dedicated to those celebs who want to share their scary stories. Celebrity Ghost Stories American version debuted in 2009, featuring Belinda Carlisle and Gina Gershon, among others. Other stars throughout the series include Joan Collins, Alice Cooper, Kelly Osbourne, Nene Leakes, I don't know, who heard the voices of ghost children, and Paula Abdul. One of the episodes featured shock rocker Marilyn Manson, who related the story of his encounter as a teen with a copy of the Necronomicon. His friend implored him to read the incantations in the book, and Manson believed that doing so caused a disturbance in the energy around them. Manson also claimed that a scary, disembodied voice asked them, "Do you believe in Satan?" Manson stated during his segment that he had read enough of the Bible to know that what was happening was not good, and that people's energy stays with the things they were attached to in life after they die.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Number 3, Beyond Belief Factor Fiction. Much like Unsolved Mysteries, Beyond Belief Factor Fiction also gained a cult following its premiere in 1997, presenting 5 stories in each episode, of which some are fact and some fiction, was the premise of the show. The show's opening episode, The Apparition, was one of the most unsettling in the series. It tells the tale of a woman who suffered a nervous breakdown and after her recovery starts seeing the ghost of a dead woman in a mirror on the second floor of her home. The ghost tries to say something but never succeeds. One night, a man breaks into the woman's home and follows her when she runs upstairs trying to escape him. The man then sees the ghost in the mirror and freaks out. Even though the episode aired years ago, it still packs a chilling punch and is worth a watch. It was revealed at the end that the story was based on true events.
You think there was really a ghost in that mirror?
I don't know. Mirrors freak me out anyway, so I wouldn't doubt it. I thought it was going to say like it was her or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, if the guy saw it too, that's fucking creepy.
Yeah. These don't go into much detail. Number 2, Paranormal Witness. Paranormal Witness is one of the most popular spooky TV shows and ran for 5 seasons between 2011 and 2016. The stories covered during the show included the weird abilities of Don Decker, the Capitol Theater haunting, werewolves, creepy dolls, and of course, demons. One of the most horrifying episodes details the incident in which 23-year-old Christine Skubish died after she fell asleep at the wheel while driving along Highway 50 in California and crashed down a steep incline in 1994. In the car with Christine was her 3-year-old son, Nick. When she didn't arrive at her intended destination, her stepfather reported her missing. 5 days later, a woman named Deborah Hoyt and her husband were traveling along Route 50 when Deborah spotted a woman lying on the side of the road. The woman was naked and her arms covered her head. The couple immediately notified the police, but when the authorities arrived, the woman was gone. This incident led police to the discovery of Christine's body inside her wrecked car and Nick laying in a fetal position in the passenger seat, weak and dehydrated but alive. Doctors agreed that if Nick had been inside the car for another hour or two, he would have died. The details of this story are both chilling and heartbreaking and one of the best episodes of Paranormal Witness.
That was a good show. I used to watch that.
Yeah, I remember that story too.
I do too, because it's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And number 1, Haunted. Haunted premiered in
Girl.
Haunted premiered in 2018 on Netflix and recounts terrifying true stories of people who have found themselves face to face with evil. One of the episodes in Season 2 of the series details a nurse's encounter with a possessed patient at a nursing home, which caused many viewers to freak out. However, Season 1's Slaughterhouse episode, in which 2 sisters reveal that their father was a serial killer, is about as terrifying as they come. Their childhood was spent listening to the terrible sounds of people being murdered in their house after their father picked up strays from the streets and bars.
Strays?
Strays.
Really?
That's in parentheses.
Oh, okay.
They
Nice.
They lived on a couple of acres of forest land, and their father disposed of his victims' bodies in the woods. The sisters believed that the murders led to their house becoming haunted, and their father also engaged in dark rituals in the woods, which led them to believe that he was possessed. The episode unleashed controversy, with many viewers taking to Twitter to voice their skepticism about the validity of the claims made by the sisters.
That was also a good show. I watched that one.
I think that was one that I tried to watch and I couldn't really...
It was good.
Was it?
Yeah. It was like, because the people would be sitting in a room with like their friends and family.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched that one. That one is good.
Yeah.
I was thinking of something else. What's the one that's like from the UK that is seriously stupid?
Most Haunted?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was fucking stupid.
That's what I was thinking
That
it
does
was
not make
talking
that
about.
list.
No, it doesn't.
That one's bad.
I don't know if I agree with some of those, though, because I guess there was only 10, but like Ghost Hunters, that Halloween episode.
Yeah, where Grant's
Yes.
hood got pulled.
Or even the one where they were in the jail.
Oh, yeah.
And they caught that thing going towards like the camera and then it was sucked away. Oh, that one
Yeah.
that one
That
is
one's
like...
a good one.
Yeah.
Because they were all like, what is that?
Yeah, and it was so weird.
It was
looked
creepy.
like someone was like running towards the camera and then just got sucked back, like, I don't know.
Yeah, into a portal or something.
Yeah,
it was
it was crazy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones out there.
Yeah.
All right, I have some eerie things that have happened to people at work. I had someone call my work and ask for me. Uh-oh. They told me they wanted to eat my heart.
Oh, what?
I kept trying to see if they needed an appointment, and they kept repeating themselves.
I'm sorry, you're going to need to make an appointment for that.
Nobody, you get in line. When I said I was going to hang up, thinking that would prompt them to say they were joking, they just very calmly said, "That's unfortunate." That is weird. Would you like to make an appointment?
What'd they say about her? They want to eat her
They
heart?
want to eat her heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to have to make an appointment for that. I'm sorry. We don't do walk-ins.
And oh no, we don't have an appointment for a really long time.
As a matter of fact, I think we're going to be closing soon.
Very
and
soon.
not reopening.
Please lose this number. One night while I was making my rounds, an older client got up to go to the bathroom. He kept looking behind me and said, "Who's that behind you?" I turned around and there was no one behind me. It was 2 or 3 a.m., which freaked me out because he kept staring behind me like there was someone there. Maybe a week later, they had moved him to a hospital and he passed. I still wonder what he saw.
That is very creepy. Because why? I mean, because then I'm going to feel like there's someone behind me and I'm going to have that feeling in my back. Oh, I don't like it.
Oh, why would that old man do that to them?
It's rude.
That's rude.
Just keep it to yourself, okay?
You don't need to know, my friend. I worked at a front desk at a hotel and was relieving night. And
Oh no, you got it too.
I'm just going to start it. It's a very short one, too. I worked the front desk of a hotel and was relieving night audit, the person who works through the night, from their shift. And they said they got multiple calls from an unoccupied room. Ooh, that's creepy. That could be just a glitch, though, in the phone systems, right?
Yeah.
I work in a library at a reference desk. We got a lot of older folks or people who, for whatever reason, can't look up anything on the internet on their own. I answered a call from a man who wanted me to try and look up a specific woman. The only result with the info he gave me was a missing person. He then gave me another woman's name and a little more info. She was also a missing person. I apologized and said I couldn't get him more information than what I had found. He just laughed and asked if he could have my number instead. Big no for me.
No way. That's a serial killer.
That is a serial. He was checking to see if they were still missing.
Yes.
Ew.
No way. I downloaded the health thing for my phone or my watch.
Yeah.
And I started doing the sleep thing.
Yeah.
And the first day I did it, I was looking, at all the readings or whatever. And it got to the snoring part, and it said that I snored. And I didn't know I snored. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So I clicked on it, and I looked down. It fucking recorded my snoring. I was like, I saw it because it had like the little play button.
Yeah.
And then it had a thing, the lines next to it. And I'm like, no way. And I put in my earbud and I turn it on. I'm like, oh my God. It recorded my snoring.
Oh my God.
For hours. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it recorded that.
I've never seen that on mine. I don't think I snore, though.
Oh my God. I mean, you could barely hear it. I mean, it was a very, very light snoring, but I was like, what the fuck? And so now I check it every day. I'm like, oh, did I snore? And I listen to it. You can hear bones playing in the background. And then I started thinking, oh shit, what if I hear something on here I don't want to hear?
Oh, that would be creepy.
I haven't yet, but at first I was mortified. And then I started listening to it and I was even more mortified. But now I'm hooked on it.
You listen to it every day?
I listen to it every day.
That's hilarious. Okay. What was happening?
I don't know.
Shit. Okay. I'm just going to start this over because I work as a funeral director, and one day there was an open casket funeral. The family gathered, and there was a woman who seemed out of sorts. She was dressed casually and just kind of meandering around. I observed her for a while. She went to the casket and appeared to be giving the deceased some reverence. What's reverence?
That makes more sense.
What is it? What is reverence?
Oh. I think it just means they were, like, talking to him. I don't know.
Reference.
No, reverence. They mean different things.
Okay. She then had to pass by me to leave, and she was clearly inebriated and said to me that she was leaving. I just wanted to see a dead body. She gave me a drunk girl grin and staggered off. She staggered into a funeral home off the street. Who does that?
That's just, what the fuck?
It's disgusting.
It's like I try as hard as I can not to go.
That's because you're normal. That's what normal people do. The last thing I want to do in my life is go to a funeral, ever. It's awful. I'm an EMT. One night I had to grab something from the ambulance on a call. It was about 3 a.m. and I was riding the elevator up in a nursing home by myself. But this little old woman got in and rode up with me before the doors could close. She smiled wide and said, "You're a good person. What you put out into the universe will come back to you. You're going to be rewarded with a quick death."
Nope.
Still smiling, she kept talking after that, but it was one of those white noise things to me. Well,
I don't know if that's rude or not.
No, I don't think it's rude. It's weird to say to someone. It's not rude. That's actually kind of nice.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, you really shouldn't talk about how someone's going to die.
No.
First of all, because that is rude. Nobody wants to hear that. But
it'll be quick. And how does she know that? And what is she doing up at 3 a.m. in a nursing home, riding an elevator?
Who knows?
Is she even there?
Ew, I don't know.
Oh, God. First day at a new job, I could stab you right now and no one would find your body until the end of the day. He said this while stabbing his work cart with a screwdriver. He didn't get any better over the years I worked with him. He ended up getting fired for comments like this. Lovely.
Imagine that.
They said before the company potluck, you know you can kill someone by putting eye drops in their food. Why?
I've heard of that before.
You totally can, but why would they say that before a potluck? That is awful timing.
They're assholes. Because they wanted all the food for themselves.
I was with a sweet gentleman who was passing, and he just wanted to be home. He was seeing and naming people he saw who had died in the hospital. His partner couldn't believe it. He kept seeing a baby with me. Without giving any details, there was a baby I was with at one point who passed. I went home and cried my eyes out. Aww. Number 10. Who is that man standing in the corner over there, and why is he just staring at us? There was no one else in the room, and the man who said it died the next day. I was checking the voicemail at a dialysis clinic when I opened one morning because sometimes our patients would leave us messages the night before if they knew they were going to be late or miss an appointment. A sweet older patient had left a message that said, "I'm sorry, ladies, I won't make it tomorrow morning. I'm going to see Hazel." Hazel was his wife who had passed away 4 years earlier. I immediately called his house. No answer. I called his son, who was listed as an emergency contact, and he told me he was just about to call us to let us know his father passed away in the night. His dad had gotten all of his paperwork with his will out of his safe, watered the houseplants, put money for each of his utility payments in labeled envelopes, put on his best suit, shined his dress shoes, and left a message for us at the clinic. He left a message for his choir director letting him know he wouldn't need a ride to practice in 2 days. He then sat down in his recliner and died. As far as I know, and according to his family, he didn't do or take anything to expedite his exit. He just went to sleep in that recliner.
How did he know?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That gave me chills. He fucking knew.
That is nuts. Very, what's the word? Not polite, but
thoughtful?
I don't know. I can't think
Very
of the word.
prepared?
Yeah, something.
Yeah. I was working on an ambulance and got a 5150 call, the police code for when someone needs mental health services. Everything was going well until he started talking to himself. I asked him about a cool demon tattoo he had. He said that the demon was the one who he was talking to. Quote, he wants me to kill you before we get to the hospital, but I keep telling him that you seem like a good guy and just want to help people, but he still wants me to kill you. Oh my God. This customer always flirted with me and always gave me gifts or money, but what really threw me off was when he told me about his new job where he'd be making $100 an hour overseas for a few months. He said when he got back, he'd have enough money to buy me.
What?
That's so nice.
Oh.
No.
I'm so flattered.
Oh my fucking God. Next, I worked at a snow cone place all through college. A guy I had never seen before came through the drive-thru, and as I was taking his payment, he said, "You're wearing a hat today. You don't usually do that," which was true. I went in the back and let my coworker finish serving him. Yeesh. Next one, make the kid in the corner shut up, an older lady said to me at 3 a.m. while she pointed to an empty corner. There was no kid. She passed not long after. Honestly, this kind of thing happens a lot. If you start seeing ghosts, I'm putting the crash cart in front of your door.
Mm-hmm.
And my last one. When I was a teenager, I worked at a local novelty ice cream store run mostly by other teenagers. There were a lot of lulls, so I'd get bored a lot because I worked alone most of the time. One day I got a phone call on the store's landline from a person asking to do a survey on women's fashion. I was bored, so I did it. They asked if I liked wearing various articles of clothing from materials to different types, and finally it started getting weird. They asked if I liked wearing stockings and lingerie and what kind of shoes I liked wearing. They started asking me what I was wearing and what color and type of underwear I had on. I was overly polite and naive, so I didn't realize it was a creep call until it got weird enough that I just hung up. I don't know who it was, why they called me, or why they called an ice cream shop, or if they were watching me.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Great.
Those are mine.
All right. It's time for the witty wrap-up.
Hey, witty wrap-up.
This week, I did the top 10 job titles held by cats.
What? What?
Yes.
Oh my God, I have to hear this.
Okay. Number 10, Chief Mouser to the Cabinet Office.
Aw, of course.
Chief Mouser to the Cabinet Office is a very prestigious position at 10 Downing Street, the official residence of Britain's Prime Minister. The Chief Mouser title is currently held by Larry, who was recruited by the Battersea Dogs and Cats Home for his mousing resume. He even has an entry on the official British government website.
Aww.
The position began during the reign of Henry VIII, but records only exist from 1929 onward. Occasionally, the office had been empty for long periods of time when mice have wisely not caused trouble. The cat that held the title the longest was Wilberforce, who served under Prime Ministers Edward Heath, Harold Wilson, Jim Callaghan, and Margaret Thatcher.
That's adorable.
That is adorable. Number 9, mail carriers. In 1876, the Belgian city of Liège decided that the most efficient way to transport the mail was via cat.
Really?
The Belgian Society for the Elevation of the Domestic Cat trained 37 volunteers
Really?
to deliver letters sealed in waterproof pouches tied around their necks. One enterprising individual delivered its mail in about 5 hours, but the others took up to 24. On March 4th, 1876, the New York Times reported, "It is believed that, unless the criminal class of dogs undertakes to waylay and rob the mail cats, the messages will be delivered with rapidity and safety. The experiment was promptly discontinued."
So stupid.
What is wrong with people?
Now you might get your mail in 5 hours or 8 hours or never.
Never. Most likely. Number 8. Ship's cat. Felines adapt easily to their surroundings. They are excellent at catching mice that bite through important ropes and food stores. This makes cats perfect for life on a ship. Several cats have been decorated for their naval service. In 1941, Unsinkable Sam started out on the German dreadnought Bismarck and was found on the wreckage of the sunken ship by the HMS Cossack. After the Cossack was torpedoed, Sam was transferred to the HMS Ark Royal, which was also torpedoed. He then rightfully retired from military service. Pooley, another World War II cat, was awarded 3 service ribbons and 4 battle stars for her work on an attack transport. In 1949, Simon protected the stores of the British HMS Amethyst during a 101-day siege. He is the only cat to be awarded Britain's Dickon Medal and was buried with full military honors.
What's a Dickon medal?
I don't know.
And do cats swim?
Yeah, the cats can swim. I don't think they like.
No, I don't think they like water.
I think they can. Number 7, CIA informants. In the 1960s, the Central Intelligence Agency attempted to train cats to spy on Soviet embassies. The program, Project Acoustic Kitty, funded operations to implant microphones, transmitters, and antenna into cats' bodies to secretly record conversations.
What?
The cats were then trained to follow orders, which proved to be much harder.
Oh my God.
In the first mission, a female cat was taken to a public park and told to record a conversation between 2 men on a nearby park bench. While crossing the road, she was hit by a taxi and killed instantly. The CIA concluded that the project was not practical. Really?
What?
Oh my gosh, people are so stupid.
That cat didn't see that car? Like, what? All of it. And who told the cat to go record? I want to know who told the cat to go record a conversation.
To be like, Odin?
And then he'd start licking his ass. It's nothing any cat is interested in doing. And volunteers? No. I'm sorry. No,
got a room full of cats and we need some volunteers.
No, that does not happen.
Oh, that's funny. Number 6, astronaut.
What?
By 1961, the French space program had successfully launched rats into Earth's atmosphere. Then they decided it was time to go bigger. What better animal to follow rats than cats? 14 feline candidates were selected for training, which involved a compression chamber, spinning in a high G-force centrifuge.
Oh my God, that poor cat.
And exposure to rocket noises. Those poor cats.
Poor cat. But they volunteered, right?
During a 10-hour surgery, electrodes were implanted in the selected cat's brain so the crew could measure its biological responses during the flight. On October 18, 1963, a tuxedo cat named Felicette was launched in the nose cone of a Veronik AG-1. She flew almost 161 kilometers, 100 miles, above the Earth, briefly experienced weightlessness, and safely returned via parachute. She's the only cat to survive a spaceflight.
I thought Felicette was French for dead cat, because that's crazy.
Yes.
And why would they do that to the cat? Why would they put it through a surgery? That's so awful.
10 hours. Stupid.
People are dumb.
Number 5, composer. In 1996, Rabbi Moshe Kotel was sitting at his baby grand piano when Quetzal, cat in Yiddish, jumped onto the keyboard. She landed on the treble and walked down toward the bass. Cotel, who was chairman of the composition department of Peabody Conservatory, grabbed a pencil and transcribed the notes. A year later, he heard that the Paris New Music Review was hosting a competition for songs under 60 seconds. He entered Quetzal's song, which was titled Piece for Piano, 4 Paws. The judges were not told the title or composer, awarded it an honorable mention. When the piece was performed at the Museum of the City of New York, Quetzal was sitting in the audience and gave a loud meow at the announcement of his name.
Aww, that's adorable.
That is very adorable. Number 4, Mayor. Talkeetna, a small town of about 900 people near Denali National Park, had a very unusual mayor, Stubbs, a ginger cat. He came to power in 1998. As the town is a historic district, the role is more symbolic than functional. His mayoral duties include patrolling the town, drinking catnip-infused water every afternoon at West Rib Cafe and Pub, and taking visitors to his office at Nagley's General Store. But even cats have political opponents. In 2013, Stubbs was brutally attacked by a dog. Aww. His life-saving operation was funded by donations from hundreds of well-wishers around the globe. Stubbs soon used this positive press to make a failed bid for the 2014 Alaska Senate race. He died peacefully of old age at his home in 2017. No word yet on who will fill the power vacuum.
Oh. Poor Stubbs.
Number 3, Customs Officer. In 2002, a Siamese cat wandered into a customs checkpoint in Stavropol, Russia. He was adopted by the guards and soon took on the duty of searching vehicles for illegally smuggled Caspian Sea caviar. One day, Rusik just leapt into the boot of a passing car at the checkpoint and immediately sniffed out some sturgeon. Police officer Sergei Kovalenko said, "After that, we decided to use him all the time in our searches." No matter how ingenious a hiding spot the smugglers, often mafia, created, Rusik could sniff them out. After he spent less than a year on the job and put the sniffer dogs out of work, it was clear that the cat was a formidable weapon against sturgeon smuggling.
That's funny.
In 2003, he was run over by a car that he had previously busted for smuggling caviar, a move that many believe was a mafia-ordered contract killing.
Shut up.
Rusik was simply too good at his job to live.
Oh my God. Okay, I want to hear the mob boss who ordered the hit on the cat.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta get that damn cat.
Number 2, assistant librarian. When a striped cat named Kuzia, who knows, showed up at the Novorossiysk Children's Library in 2013, the staff just couldn't resist letting him in. But for Kuzia to be allowed in the library, he had to be made an official employee. Unfortunately, the Russian government was cracking down on undocumented workers, so no human or feline could be hired without the proper paperwork. The library staff was undeterred. They acquired an animal passport, and the head librarian signed a special order that made Kuzia an official library assistant. His wages are 30 cans of Whiskas, cat food, for a month, and he must show up to work in a uniform, a bow tie.
Aw, how cute.
Cute. And number 1, actor.
Oh.
For as long as there have been cinema, there have been movie star cats. However, as the felines are notoriously hard to train, dogs are more popular as co-stars. Some cats that have graced the silver screen include Orangey in Breakfast at Tiffany's, Sin Cat as Teo in The Incredible Journey, Ted Nugent as Mr. Bigglesworth in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, Crackerjack and Pumpkin as Crookshanks in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and Tonic and Leo as Church in Pet Sematary. The Patsy Picture Animals Top Star of the Year Awards recognize animal excellence in film. Cats, which are notoriously hard to work with due to their Hollywood personalities, have nonetheless managed to snag quite a few nods.
Cute.
And that's all I got.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Send in your stories. We still need them. ghouls.nightoutpodcast@gmail.com. And we will talk to you in a couple weeks.
Later.
Bye.